That's right, my friends. Passport bros are a real thing.
All of y'all baby daddy, boyfriends, husbands, cousins, brothers, uncles, and daddies was all in Cartagena this weekend. I traveled to Cartagena to meet one of my friends who was traveling from Ecuador just for the weekend. It was my first time in Cartagena, and my God in heaven, y'all did not lie about the passport, bro.
And not only that, but they are starting to become annoying to the Colombian people. See, we usually don't care what people do. You're an adult, you can do whatever you want with your life. But now they're starting to become a nuisance in our country, and we're not liking that. I know the person in the video isn't a passport bro himself, as he has stated. No need to apologize. And I would like to thank Tanya TKO for linking me to this video because I want to make a video reaction to this so that people out there know what Colombians like me are feeling, what we're thinking, how we're reacting to this.
Baby, I got off the plane. I didn't know where I was at. It was black men as far as the eye could see. I took a little video while I was in the immigration line. They was grouped up and duped up. You hear me? The line was at least 2 hours long to get through immigration. I promise you, and I'm not lying, right hand to God, they probably had 5 women in this immigration line.
I had laughed so much when I saw that part because it's absolutely hilarious. I cannot tell you how many times I have had family members include and not only relatives but friends who have texted me from the airport say, "Hey, I'm at the airport right now going to Colombia and so airline is full of men as far as the eye can see, not even a single Colombian in sight." What most people don't know is that us Colombians, whether here in the United States or abroad or even inside Colombia, most of us are pretty much laughing at those type of guys because we know what they're flying there to, because they never travel anywhere in Colombia with any meaningful culture. All they do is go to the cities, they offer female adult services, and they never try to enrich their lives knowing the different cultures and the different people because they don't care about that. And we all know what it is about. When they say, "Oh, I'm going to Colombia because the women are subservient," and which is a lie because no Latino woman is not subservient by any means. Or, because they're more traditional and everything else. Yeah, right. We know where you're going there for.
Everybody else was black men. And I said, oh, there's a story here. I mean, they was coming in groups. The group that was in front of me was a group of 10. A group of 10 that had came from Philly. How I knew they was from Philly? Because I could hear their accent. I could hear them talking. I was looking at them in line, downloading Tinder. I said, them people did not fucking lie. Now, this is my first time in Cartagena. I didn't know what to expect. I was thinking, I've been to Colombia before. I've been to Cali. But I didn't think that I was coming to the whole fest. Anybody with a peon, any type of peon of a brain could see what the fuck going on down there in Cartagena. When you walking down the streets, the women is literally pulling on you, winking, calling you pop. They trying to get it. They working, and they paying for it.
That is true. And as Colombians, like I said, we're sitting in the corner laughing because what most people don't know is that the people who work in the tourist sector, they see everything. And because they sit there all day long, they have a chance to study people. And we know automatically know who's who, like the ones that travel in groups. They're walking around with flip-flops, shorts all the way down past their knees, really raggedy clothes sometimes, and then they travel in groups, right? Like if you're with a family, we know, okay, this guy's here with his wife and his kids, or he comes to a different group of people, but it's always the same guys, with the same look and everything else, sometimes a gold chain, which you're not even supposed to be wearing out in public, and we sit in there, we're saying, míralo, míralo, ahí va, él va por detrás de ella, va por detrás de ella. And basically saying, look at him. There he goes. I guarantee you, he's going to go right for that one in the corner. She's smiling at him. I bet you she's going to go after her. I bet you. And they actually bet money. I made myself choke. They actually bet money, and they say, aha, I told you. Some people bet money, some people don't. But we're sitting there, we're chuckling because we know and we see these type of things. And we see the type of women that some guys pick up. It's like, oh, he likes him big. He's one of those guys that likes him big. Oh, he's one of those guys that likes him short and thin. Oh, he likes one of those guys that likes him light skin colored. We seen it all. I mean, we seen it all. I have friends that work in the tourism sector, and they tell me these stories every single day, which is funny.
They paying for it. They down there buying coochie. I was so embarrassed standing in that immigration line because I could just feel the people that's from Cartagena looking at us, because I'm in the line too. They looking at us saying, just look at them lined up to come buy some cat. All the way in South America. Y'all, y'all didn't lie. I thought y'all was lying. I thought y'all was bitter because, these black men is out here traveling and they got their passports. And that's why I was just like, I was just so happy that black men just had passports and they was, seeing the world. No, 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 no. Them motherfuckers is lined up to go participate. And you know what? I ain't gonna say too much on here.
Now, granted, I would like to let you know that it doesn't happen to non-Latino men also, but it happens to us too, including us Colombians, including me. If I were to travel by myself, this happens so much that they automatically start labeling you, and they start creating ideas in their heads until they get to know you. And for the person who created this video, trust me, I know you're not one of them by the way how you're talking. You just tend to know, because the person who really travels to travel and who travels to enrich their lives, enrich their knowledge about culture, you can usually tell, because when you are brought to certain situations, when you talk about certain things, you can kind of tell what this situation is going. For example, I was invited to a YouTube, I'm sorry, for example, I was invited to a WhatsApp group, right? And it was full of guys and stuff like that, but about people who want to go to Colombia. And I'm talking about rivers, I'm talking about mountains, I'm talking about the different climates depending on how high and how low you are, and talk about the different regions, the different cultures, and phone in the back. And the first thing they talk about is, yeah, but so how are the women like? Oh, yeah, or what's the best night scene? Or do they like certain type of man that dresses a certain way? I'm like, yeah, they do. And I'm trying to like divert the conversation about culture, about food, about time, about music and everything else, and they just keep reverting back to that. So you tend to know, you'll figure it out.
But all I'm gonna say is y'all was right. And I apologize. I have never seen nothing like this in my life. Child, they was walking the streets of Cartagena in packs, like a packs of wild dogs, looking for cats. I'm speechless. And it's all ages, from 17 up to 70 packs looking for cat. I was blown away. And as I'm listening to them, like as I'm in these lines and I'm listening, I'm listening to them talking about how they travel throughout Colombia and they go to these different cities and they don't like this city because of this and this city because of that. Y'all, I can't believe it. I cannot believe this. I didn't want this to be true, but it's true. Unfortunately, it's true.
Yeah, the reason why they're saying that is because different cities are more conservative than others. Like I have told people many times, different regions have different cultures depending on the area that you're in. Some places are more liberal, some places are more conservative. Unlike West, whom I followed, when he said that in Barranquilla, supposedly they're the most conservative of all of Colombia, which is like the biggest lie I've ever heard. Basically is that you need to understand that certain cities will not allow this type of behavior. Certain cities like Cartagena have allowed this certain type of behavior, so this is why these men flock to it. If you go to other cities, they don't have a venue where you can just find something easily. And in fact, if you started to even try to find something easily, you will get picked up in the streets in a negative type of way, if I can say that. I would like to point out that this not only belongs to one specific group of men of a certain color. It doesn't have to be only black. I mean, we know that white guys travel there. Asians travel there. I've seen Arabs in Cartagena, Colombia. So yeah, that's not only a specific black thing. And the funny thing is that each specific culture has like a certain taste. Soon as they see you walking down the street in Cartagena, Colombia, they're already talking about themselves. Okay, he's gonna go after this type of girl or that type of girl. Like remember what I said before when they start joking and they will sit there and they'll chuckle with each other. Okay, he's gonna go after that one. I bet you. And then soon I told you he was gonna go to that one. I've seen all sorts of funny comments, but they'll say it under the breath. They won't say anything, but they're watching you and they're already stereotyping you. Unfortunately.
Before I go, they all had on these fake chains. You could tell they were so fake because they were so bright. They were supposed to be like silver or platinum, but they was just so fucking bright. They looked like fucking aluminum on their neck, and everybody had these these fake diamond chains on.
And this is a big no-no that I tell everybody who flies to Colombia. Now, Colombia can be in some areas. In some areas, it can be just as safe as the United States or in Europe. But in other parts, it cannot be. And one thing you do not do, you do not walk around with chains, whether it is real or whether it's fake. I have seen many times that people either get robbed or even it escalates to a point where the person gets deleted, and because they tend to fight back. You have to understand, when you go to a country that you do not understand, you need to listen to the locals. I don't understand why people want to go around showing their money. I'm big and I'm tough and I have all of this. You don't do it in other places. Let's remember when I talk about a certain a man named Mr. J. Mr. J said, I'm a tough Korean from LA. You could be tough Korean from LA, but you go to another country, who are you? You're nothing. I am a Colombian. I may have come from the worst parts of Colombia, but if I'm in the United States, I'm not going to go down to Mississippi, act a fool in the sun downtown. Am I right or am I wrong? And it's extremely unfortunate because these people moving in packs and they're starting to overtake the space that was created for a traditional setting. Because before this whole Passport Bro movement started, and I went there before the Passport Bro movement started, in Cartagena, you will see families. I mean, I saw entire families, mothers, daughters, grandchildren just walking about and everything else. Those women who offer adult services, they will hide and blend into the background. They weren't as obvious. And because of the fact that these women are becoming obvious and very vulgar, the people of Cartagena and even certain parts of Colombia like Medellin are starting to fight back and are starting to become very angry. The people are starting to protest, causing clashes between the locals and foreign tourists. I remember this one specific time when I had brought a friend of mine. He's Samoan, and I took him to a good place in the town center by the walled city, and there was a really good burger joint because I have a friend that works in the area. So we went and sat down. I mean, it must have been like around 12:30 in the daytime or something like that, maybe 11:45ish, because they were just starting to open up. And I remember seeing these passport bros, and they were extremely obvious. About three of them came, and each of them had like three girls with them, right? And immediately they had the girls sitting there and twerking outside in the area where you see people walking by in strollers. And the owner was very angry, and he was saying underneath his breath, who the heck do these people are? Don't they see that there's children walking around and they're having these girls? Now people will say, granted, it's the Colombians' fault too. Yes, it is their fault for allowing this, and their fault for even allowing men to pay them to start twerking in front of little kids, because believe it or not, we're more a conservative society than what you think, even though they dress a little bit more sensual. And he says, look at this is an area full of women and children at this time of the day, and I cannot believe that these foreigners, these people from the outside, can come in here and do whatever they want. And this is the reason why I created this reaction video. Once again, thanks to Tanya TKO, because I want to let you guys know that this is not something that's considered acceptable. Now, just because adult services is considered okay and it's accepted by the law, it doesn't mean that in certain situations it's acceptable. The way how we have always seen it is, if you're going to do whatever you want as an adult, do it in private areas. Have respect for the society. Have respect for the culture. There's more things to do than just go there looking for women and having twerk. Have you ever seen a place, women dancing curulao, which is an African dance? Curulao is actually more from Pacific, but if we talk about Cartagena, have you ever seen anybody dance cumbia, the original cumbia that comes from African slaves from Ghana? They got infused with indigenous instruments and it created a different type of dance. Have you ever seen anybody dance mapale, which is an African-based dance, which is based on the flapping of a fish? Would these passport bros look for that? No, they wouldn't, because they only go there to survey the women and women who offer adult services.
I said, I don't want to be here. That's what I got off the plane. I said, can we bring me back? Bring me to another destination. I don't want to be here because this is a lot.
And yes, he is correct about that, because it creates an atmosphere that makes you feel uncomfortable. I have had cousins of mine who have gone to Cartagena, Colombia, and they don't like going there anymore. Why? Because of the people that are flying in. Now, most Colombians, they will go there maybe once or twice because it's a really scenic place. It is a very cultural place, but they never want to come back. And they go to other cities to stay away from the foreigners or to stay away from a certain type of foreigner.